Oh, so now let's get into some half homosexual news because one of these people on here are homosexuals. And let's talk about James Charles. So y'all know James Charles. Celebrities pretty much have a lot of work to do when it comes to, proving the public that they're not the assholes that they intend to be. But sometimes it's hard for these hoes, especially when you talk about somebody like a name James Charles. And so he got in trouble when he went on TikTok and there was some lady that apparently worked at Spirit Airlines who had gotten fired, and she decided to hit James up and ask him for financial help. And instead of him just, because I think she did it privately, but instead of him answering her back in private, he decided to take it upon himself and flat out insult the girl on his social media. And in that whole situation, I guess he thought he ate down with his reads because the audience turned on his ass. The backlash ensued. He lost a lot of followers, and they read his Shirley Temple curly head having ass for points with his choppy ass drag queen Trixie Mattel wannabe makeup. So, when it was in there, millions of people out here, they're struggling to pay their bills. We have a president who has been dismantling everything that has helped out Americans, even though quiet as it's kept a lot of these things that he's dismantling, they was being held together by super glue and duct tape. But nevertheless, at least there were little policies that was put into place that was helping people. He's been gutting pediatric health research or cancer research, especially for children. Well, pediatric kids, duh. He cut pediatric cancer research. You have DI situations where they talk about that what basically was helping people of color. Now, if y'all were diversifying your portfolio, we wouldn't have needed to put DEI situations in place. There were a lot of black women who were being put out of work because they're talking about DI, DI, DI. Mind you, how many people in this current administration are qualified for the jobs they have? I'll wait. None of them, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Just because he got an MD don't necessarily mean he know what he's dealing with and the thing he's dealing with. Then you got a reality star from the real world who actually has been using our taxpaying dollars to funnel a new reality show he has going on, who's running the transportation department, poorly, I might add. As of a lot of them, we got Pete Kegsbreath, who's over here running. And then you got dumbass. Speaking of drunks, you got Cash Patel fucking up the FBI. So you got all these people who don't have any kind of understanding of how to work certain jobs, fucking up the thing. But y'all want to talk about DEI, and here this moron is who ain't never worked a solid job, probably never even had a W damn two, trying to tell us how to live. Now I get it in so many ways that there are people who probably don't support you, whatever the case is, that's always hitting you up and thinking you an ATM. I totally get that. That a lot of people is like, once you get a little coin, people want to come up on your situation and be like, oh well, they like, I'm not an ATM, I'm not a bank. So I'm not always gonna be out here shelling out money for you. So I totally understand that aspect. But the way you went about it, it was just super ugly, in the words of Zara Larson. Or was it more no Juicy Love Dion? No, it was right. Juicy Love Dion and Mia started doing a lip sync. So yeah, so he basically said this. He said, I just got a DM from a girl on here and said, good morning, James. I know you'll never see this, but if you could just take a minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I just lost my job. Here's a GoFundMe link. Any donations help. So then he went and said, I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Try that, because at the time, all in the time it took you to copy and paste the same fuck ass message to me, who you don't follow, by the way, and to 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied to 100 other jobs because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. Why would I ever help you? Now, speaking of entitled, I guess certain people would know. That's why I always say, when one finger's pointing at you, the other four is pointing at themselves. So, and that's James Charles. So now he did apologize, only because he lost a lot of fans, or a lot of followers, I would say. And he said this. Hi, Amber. I want to reach out privately with an apology for the video I made. It was disgraceful and completely unnecessary. And there is no excuse for me yelling at and berating someone for asking for help in a shitty situation that was completely out of control. I'm so sorry for adding to what was already a distressing time. I'm so ashamed for not only the video, but also for being so disgustingly out of touch. I was sent your video today and was also glad to see your GoFundMe has exploded, but I also know that getting attention online can be scaring over. Wait, what? Can be scaring, overwhelming, especially when you never asked for it in the first place. Girl, get on my line with that performative ass bullshit that you probably didn't even write your damn self. So you said all of that, sent that in private, and the one thing I will say that's good that came out of this, maybe he didn't intentionally know this was going to happen, but because of his attitude and the way he came at this girl, it brought attention to her GoFundMe and had other people that have something that James doesn't have, which is empathy. They decided, I'm going to support this girl. Even though we all out here struggling, because of this economy that we in, gas prices, best food, I was gonna say vegetables, well, vegetables, food, all of that is going up. Everything is going up except the living wage, surprisingly. And I actually have a clip. Hold on, because I know it's gonna play again. So I got a video of her where, after he got dragged, she did respond. Amber, because I was trying to remember her name. Baby, remember my name, Fame. She wanna live forever. Anyway, let's play the clip. And we're gonna come back and talk. Please hold.
I know another question on here is, do I accept his apology? So I'm just going to answer it right together. Hell no. I don't accept his apology, especially because he was very publicly with what he said, and then you thought it was okay to message me privately. No. So he did message me. Here's a screenshot. And I don't accept it. I know another question on here is, do I accept his apology? So I'm just going to answer it right together. Hell no. I don't accept.
Aside from that, oh yeah, we don't need to hear.
Accept his
Let me pause it because I was like, oh no, I don't want to hear her voice. It's like nails on the chalkboard. So let's read what they were saying in the comments. So one person said he only apologized because he was receiving backlash. That apology wasn't sincere. Absolutely. Another person said private apology for public disrespect is nasty work. Absolutely. My thing is, if you took the time and the energy to go on social media and cuss this girl out and basically make her feel like shit for even having the cojones to hit you up and ask you, excuse me, for help, you're gonna fix your mouth to be like, you know what, I'm gonna take it in private. No, bitch. You already invited all of us into the group chat without our permission. I want to see how this soap opera end. You don't get to pick and choose how you want to be private on something you decide to make public when this girl made it private from the first place. Another person said, why people still support him anyways? He been like that. Another person said, all I'm gonna say is when I get big platform, I sure ain't cursing nobody out and posted it. He could have just ignored the DM. Shout out to creators who give back in public and private. Another person said, moral of the story, stop begging the end. Okay, bitch. Go sit and spin on a spiked cone. Another person said, mind you, she never asked him for money. She asked him to share her GoFundMe link. Another person said, mad I didn't think of this first. I need a celebrity to go off on me real quick. Rent almost. um, okay. Well, first one person said, refund him the 5K, show him you don't accept it. Well, who said that he donated money? He said glad the GoFundMe is doing well, is blowing up, meaning that I guess from his rant or whatever the case was, um the GoFundMe has been successful and she's financially benefiting because people, out of spite to him and the way he came at her, decided, okay, let me find this girl's GoFundMe. Or maybe there was links in some of the blogs that linked her GoFundMe when they were talking about this whole situation, and they decided to donate money. So where in there does it say that he donated money to her? Because I don't think that's what he wrote in the article, unless I missed that, or in the private message. Oh, you know what? I feel bad. Let me donate 5K. I didn't hear anything about that. So y'all just pulling stuff out y'all ass just because you feel like you ate with that comment? As I said, sit and spin on a fucking cone with spikes on it. Anyway, and James Charles, since you a big old Nelly bottom, you do the same. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I mean, do you agree with Miss Thing? It's like, yeah, she don't have to accept this apology. It's like you basically just came and embarrassed her, made her feel like shit on social media for no damn reason. When all she is was asking if you could just promote her situation. But you sit up there saying, oh, you don't follow me or this, that, and the other. That's what you're more concerned with, is the fact that somebody not following you on social media. Because that's all you bitches care about, clicks and damn likes and virality. So let me know what you guys think of this chop of a story in the comments down below.